Yes, Dr. Dr. Emmanuel, Dr. Emmanuel Mpamizo. How are you this morning?
I'm all right. How are you, Mr. Bill Bekunda?
Okay. It's good to have you here. You know, doctors, especially in your field, you know, you're not easy people. So many people think you're not easy people. You're complicated. When you meet somebody, you can read what's on their mind. You know, just tell me about that. How true is it?
I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much, Bill, for inviting me. What you're saying is somehow true, but it's not entirely true. We don't really read people's minds. You can guess, not guessing, but you can tell what someone may be thinking about, but you're not really reading their mind. This is because from the words they are saying, from their posture, you can infer what they could be thinking about, but not really reading minds.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's enlightening because, you know, even me, you know, from my history as a recovering alcoholic, the time I was told that I'm going to meet the psychiatrist, I was very scared because I thought he was going to now see everything that I was lying about, you know. So basically, a psychiatrist is a normal person like us. They only respond to, I think, to what you say and what you're doing with your actions. And let's dive straight into the topic for today, which is we are all suffering with one common enemy worldwide. It doesn't matter whether you're young, rich, old, poor, from the ghetto or from upscale, whether you're old or young, all those have been ironed out. We know we are all suffering the same thing. How is your lockdown?
The lockdown hasn't been easy. I think it's now about a month. It has its good parts and its bad parts. The bad parts is that you're locked down in one place. Morning, you're seeing the same four walls. You know, you don't get to move out as freely as you were in the past. But it's not so bad. The good thing is that you get time for family. So you get to know your partners more and your other family members more. So those are the benefits of the whole lockdown.
Okay. So you're managing well, basically.
I'm managing well, in other words.
Should we attribute that to the fact that you're a psychiatrist and you understand all these things we don't know, depression, anxiety, focusing what to do, you mental health yourself?
No, I wouldn't say that is exactly the reason. The reason is because, I've been listening to advice, taking care of myself, and indeed I'm trying to take care of myself and the people around me. I'm keeping away from, I think you know very well, I'm trying to keep away from alcohol. Yes, I'm trying to keep away from the alcohol.
That's good news for me. All right, then. So, COVID-19 is here. We are on lockdown. There is a lot of suspense. There has been, especially today, there are supposed to be announcements shortly after we've had this conversation. What is your take on COVID-19? And maybe you could start by explaining to us, first and foremost, what is mental health and what is its relevance to COVID-19 situation?
Okay. So mental health, Bill, sometimes we hesitate to use the word mental because when people hear the word mental, they switch off. They're like, now this one is talking about people undressing and, I don't really want to listen to that. So sometimes to loop everyone in, sometimes use the word psychological because that one is more, it even has the air of, I say, sophistication to it. If I say I have a psychological challenge, it sounds better than saying I have a mental challenge.
Okay.
You have mental issues. So mental health or psychological health really has to do with what's happening in the person's mind, what is going on in the person. Are they sleeping well? Are their emotions in order? Are their thoughts in order? Are they interacting with others? Are they able to work? That is basically what we talk about when we mean psychological mental health. And COVID has not, COVID has made psychological mental health worse, or the condition worse. You're locked down in the house, finances are a bit tight. You're hearing news, Italy, they have died, US, they are dying. And for you in Uganda, a third world country, or like if people in the US and Italy are dying, what about us in Uganda with, who are struggling with basic things?
Exactly.
So that is where the issue is, Bill.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, we stop referring to them as a mental, because I usually post and say, mind your mental health. Is it like a term that is pushing people away? How would I best communicate to people that the mental health of a person is as important as physical health, as the economic health, or whatever other healths are there?
Well, mental health, you're being very accurate. But at the same time,
Yes.
you're scaring away certain people. When people hear that word mental, I don't know, it traumatizes them. So if you can put it psychological, hey, psychological, okay. That one is more, can I say, acceptable than the word mental. Mental may be a little bit too straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it's accurate. But, psychological will work.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically,
Psychological. So,
okay. So what are the issues people are facing right now from what you have seen so far from the situation that
So the first thing I think we shall begin with what is on your shirt. I see your shirt is saying what? Pornography robs you of what? What are those other words? Pornography robs you of the right way and rubs
the
you
right way and rubs you the wrong way.
Yes, that is one of the problems that has cropped in. People are locked
Yes.
down in their houses. There is not much transport. So, you if you're not lucky enough to be married, you're living alone. And, these feelings
Yes.
come up. It's normal to get these feelings. So, the next thing you know, you're feeling a certain type of way. You're feeling lonely. You're feeling, I don't know what. The next thing you know, you're clicking onto one of those websites and, getting trapped, hooked into the whole pornography thing. But pornography is not the only thing. I think the biggest issue would say, Bill, is, the issue that you're championing, the issue of alcohol or substance abuse. Alcohol is a big problem right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think you can,
yes.
I don't know whether to use the word understand why, because it's not understandable for someone to abuse alcohol too much. It's not understandable, but you can understand how someone can get into using.
Yes, definitely. Because, for instance, with alcohol, you don't see it coming. I mean, when I started drinking, I was not drinking because I wanted to develop a problem. Eventually, I was drinking just to fit in with my friends, to have fun and enjoy my life. By the time I realized that I am not able to stop it, that is when the challenge began, because I was asking myself, I used to tell myself and other people that I can stop when I want. But I reached a point whereby I wanted to stop and I couldn't. At the same time, I could not admit to anybody that as a man, how can I fail to take my drink? So I would maintain that I will stop when I want to. Now, we have people who are taking it for granted, and we know that the social distancing thing, for instance, disables communication with other people effectively, especially the vulnerable, because they don't have mobile phones. Maybe they drank them away, or they sold them to the drugs, or how is that going to affect people generally, the use of alcohol during this time and after?
So as you're saying, someone is alone, they know that they assume they don't have a problem with alcohol and they can stop when they want. So you drink. I was talking to some health workers the other day, and I was telling them it's okay for you to have a glass of wine after a busy Friday. You've had a busy Friday, a busy week, and on a Friday you take a glass of wine. I went on to tell them that these days, every day is a busy and stressful day. So on Friday, you'll have that glass of wine. What about Saturday? What about Sunday? What about Monday, Tuesday? So you'll find that every day you're taking a glass of wine, and you end up in problems. So you end up hooked. And the problem, one of the problems, as you're saying, is you think you're in control, but in actual sense, you're not. It's not a personal weakness. It's not a weakness of you as Bill that in the past you had problems with alcohol. It's just the nature of the substance. But it's like water.
Yeah.
If you put water in a glass, water will take on the shape of the glass. If you boil water up to 100 degrees,
Okay.
it will evaporate. That is the nature of water. So alcohol by its nature is addictive. When you take a glass, it is not your fault.
Yes.
You will want to take another glass. Not because of your personal weakness, but because of the nature of the substance you're taking. So I think the advice there would be, keep away from it.
You don't decide what it does.
No, you do not. You think you're
Yes.
the one. You think you're in control. The substance tricks you. You think you're in control. When you're tired of me, you will stop. You're just having a glass or two. I'm helping you to relax. This is the substance talking. I'm helping you to relax. I'm helping you catch some sleep.
And you have good reason.
Yes,
you are in lockdown.
And you're in lockdown. The next thing you know, you are hooked.
Yes.
It's too late. Yeah, so that's the whole trick. And of course, alcohol rides with other substances. You're with me, Bill?
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm having a little bit of, I don't know, internet. Is it a connection or something? I kind of lost you.
Yeah, you lost me for a minute there.
For a minute, yeah.
Yes, I was saying that alcohol doesn't go alone. Alcohol goes with other substances.
Yes.
The most common of which of recent is, weed, cannabis, marijuana. Legalizing it in many parts of the West has not made the situation any easier because, the West is considered as, those guys they know the right thing, they have done their research. So some of these things, when someone sees, after all, it has been legalized in the West, that means it's okay. It's just a natural herb. It's not just a natural herb. It can cause you problems.
Exactly.
And these days you find that there are some people who, you see like how you have a border guy you trust. There are guys who have a weed guy they trust. Just like, when you pull out your phone, missed calls or recently dialed numbers, you see the border guy, you find someone can just scroll and they have a weed guy. So they call him and is able to bring them the weed. But weed will still bring problems. It disorganizes your mind slowly by slowly. So those are the two common substances, Bill.
So basically, it is the nature of the substance that causes the problem, not the person taking it. Because that's very important, People don't understand that you take it and then it changes what is up here, and then you cannot control yourself anymore, right? And this does not happen to everyone, because you'll find family members like to say, but we are from the same family, I do it, why can't he be able to manage it?
So the first thing, as you've put rightly, it's the nature of the substance. But then there is also an element of personal weakness or personal vulnerability. If you're someone who likes to have a good time a little too much, like after the party, someone is telling you, you guys, let us go home, it's late. And you are that person who wants to go home last. Someone gifts you with a cake and it's a big cake. You like, why can't I put this cake in the fridge and have it slowly over a week? You find that you're the person who is going to eat that cake in one sitting. In other words, it's hard for you to postpone things that you enjoy. It's hard for you to say no to things that you enjoy. Then you're a person who is at risk of substance abuse because you have that nature or that personality. So that is that nature or personality. The other one is circumstances or conditions. If you're someone who is currently unemployed and you don't have a busy job and you work the hours that you want, still you're at risk of substance abuse because you're not going to be put on pressure, to go to work or to come sober and things like that. If on the other hand, you're a very busy person, I think I'm having small. I had a small connection, a small problem here with the internet.
Yeah, there is some disturbance.
Yes, some small disturbance. So I was just pointing out that there are certain personal characteristics that also make us vulnerable to alcohol. You know, if you're not so busy, if you're going through a hard time, if you've just been dumped, for example, if you've just been dumped, now is not the time for you to engage into alcohol because it's going to bring you problems. The other issue is the issue of genetic substances. Let me just say family history. Let me not use the complicated terms. Family history. So if you find your grandfather had problems with alcohol, your father has problems with alcohol, 3 of your brothers have problems with alcohol, and you have not started taking alcohol, or you've been taking alcohol a little bit once in a while, I would encourage you to continue to take alcohol like that, because if you engage a little too much, it's going to cause you problems. You have a family history, a family weakness. You find in our local dialect, so in our informal conversation, we call it what? You have a family curse. It may not necessarily be a family curse, but it's family genes that are disorganized.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the stability issue also comes in there. The other issue which we should talk about still about alcohol is when to use alcohol. Is when to use alcohol. So there's what they call social using of alcohol. Social alcohol is when, you know, you're at a party and you have a glass of 1 or 2 at a party and then you stop there. That in itself is not bad.
Okay.
The problem is if you can afford to party and, you know, you go to party on a Monday, on a Tuesday you can party, on Wednesday you can party. You know, there you find that even with the way you're using alcohol, it's now getting into problematic ways because you're partying every day.
Oh, so we'll have to do a part 2, I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a part 2.
Let me also move away from this noise, the gate man and everything. I will try and get a good picture here.